I think the journey of entrepreneurship is also a journey of sifting through people, good ones and bad ones. But also, I think we try to tell the story, right? You have to tell them something we're building. We're just selling citron peppers. We're creating a new category in food and beverage. We're creating a new tingly, numbing sensation. And if we are successful in the future, you are one of the people who made it happen. But also at the same time, on the other end of the bell curve, also meet some very bad people and you get burned. It's terrible.
So very excited to have my friend Yao here. I've had the pleasure of knowing Yao from the different chapters since our way back grad school. Very excited to have him on the show today, both to talk about his personal and professional chapters. And so let's dive right in. Why is it named 50 Hertz Tingly Foods?
So this came out of my research, right? In that initial phase, I did a lot of reading. I came across this paper. It's published in 2013 in the Royal Society Proceeding B. It's published by the head of the neuroscience department at the UCL. The paper is basically saying citron pepper, the buzzing, tingling, numbing sensation, it vibrates. It makes your tongue vibrate at 50 hertz. That's the
I
buzzing
didn't know
frequency.
that.
And I thought it was super interesting. At the time, I was ideating the business. I thought, actually, why don't I name the business as a 50 hertz? And I emailed the professor,
Uh,
and he was actually delighted
yeah.
to hear someone is gonna use his scientific work. I actually went to see him 2 years later. Yes, I actually met him in person. It was cool. It was very
Oh,
nice.
one of the things I want to get a chance to explore deeper is just how one chooses to do all of this, right? Let's go down to the nitty gritty because, as you have hinted gently, that it's not easy. There are some sleepless
Yeah. Oh my
nights
god.
and
Oh
many
my god.
sleepless
Yes.
travels that you go through. And then on top of that, now you're needing to like know even more people, keep track of your old people, clients, and new business, and actually need to do more business development. I'm curious now that it's been 4 years, what would be something that you would say, man, if I get a chance to sit with Yao, who's just starting this tomorrow, this will be one advice I want to share with him now, knowing what I know for the past
Mm,
4 years of not only doing business, but also balancing all of this on top of the work that you
mm.
have.
I think a few things came out of this journey so far, right? I think one is I think team is very important. Having a team, having a partner on this journey. I don't know how founders can build a $1 billion business on their own. I just found it so hard. I did this for almost 2.5 years. I had some help, of course, along the way. But I think officially I have incorporated a co-founder only until 2.5 years later. So I think if I have to do this all over again, I think having a partner at the very beginning could be useful. Share the ideas, share the journey together, and make the decisions together. So I think that's one takeaway. I think the other thing is, I think it's okay to be scrappy, to be bootstrapping, but man, it is nice to have some financial backing. I got very lucky because of some opportunity of the New York Times and stuff like that. But I think it is nice to do this properly, really plan it out, having a business plan. But I don't have any of this, to be honest with you, when I started. I was being very scrappy. I didn't know what I was doing. But I think having a mood board, a branding, and all of that, now I'm like building it. I'm catching up. So yeah, it's a sort of a tricky balance. But definitely having a partner, having a team, I think it's very important from the get-go.
One thing as you're sharing that still brings curiosity is that you nailed it when you said it to yourself, change adversity into opportunity. That mindset is something that
Yeah.
drives you and has a very strong foundation. How did you build that? Because I think that itself is part of the gift, perhaps, that you've noticed early on. Okay, fine, you don't get me, fine. Let me find
Yeah.
my people, let me go
Yeah.
seek opportunities. You had that early on. And I'm curious, what helped you build that? Because for some, they're still lurking to learn how to cultivate that or
Mm.
hone that. So, what helped you hone that
Yeah,
voice?
absolutely. I think it's not just because of entrepreneurship. It's the story you tell yourself. What story you want to get out of this? Because any adversity is opportunity, right? And then, as I said, I was burned by some bad people, and then it becomes a story. And then what do you tell yourself about that? You can beat yourself about it, but you can also tell yourself, look, I've tried my best, and then I've learned these lessons. I can actually turn that story, and I can tell that story. And so I think I have that mindset also through hardship, right? I think growing up, I don't necessarily have a very happy childhood. My family, just a very traditional Chinese family. Mom and dad divorced, and there's a lot of conflict and fights. You just have to climb out of it, and then you realize everything is about a story you tell yourself. And then you have to get up and going. And then don't look back. Just don't dwell on the past. I'm not someone who really dwell on the past. I also consider myself very lucky because I don't remember much. To be honest, I think my memory is really bad. A lot of the trauma that maybe happened in my past, in my childhood, I don't really remember, to be honest. It seems like my memory has this protective mechanism to sift out the negativities.